Ever been to a hospital and wondered like how they keep everything running on time? It's got to be like seriously complicated.
Wow. Totally. It's a whole world behind the scenes most people don't even think about.
Exactly. So today we're doing just that, going behind the curtain. We're tackling the hospital porter role, and I gotta say, the insights we got from RoleCatcher, this career platform, are super interesting.
Yeah, it's a job most folks think of as entry level, but honestly, it needs such a specific mix of skills. You need physical strength, for sure, but also really strong people skills and a solid understanding of how hospitals actually work.
Okay, see, that's what I love to unpack. Busting myths, right? Like customer service for a hospital porter, that's not the first thing that comes to mind.
Right. You wouldn't think so, but it's key. These are the folks interacting with patients, and those patients are often anxious, maybe in pain. Then you've got families who are worried, asking questions. On top of that, porters have to coordinate with doctors, nurses. Everyone's busy.
It's like they're the hub of the wheel.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher actually uses this phrase, knowledge of principles and processes for providing customer and personal services. That stood out to me because it shows how vital empathy and good communication truly are.
So it's not just pushing stretchers, it's about being that calming presence, especially when things are hectic.
Exactly. There's this one anecdote in the RoleCatcher guide about a hospital porter who managed to de-escalate a situation with a patient's family. The family was upset about a scheduling delay, things happen. But this porter, they used active listening and spoke clearly, addressed the family's concerns directly.
Wow, that's going above and beyond.
And it made all the difference. The family felt heard, which honestly can be enough to ease their anxiety in a tough situation.
It's those small things, but in a hospital setting, they become huge GE. It's clear there's way more to this role than we realize. And speaking of uncovering what's hidden, I was really struck by how RoleCatcher lays out the career path here. It's not just a one-size-fits-all kind of job, is it?
Not at all. It's actually a multi-tiered career path with real opportunities to grow. RoleCatcher maps it out clearly, starting with entry level and going all the way up to managing the whole department.
Now that's what I call a career ladder. Let's break those stages down a bit. What does that climb look like, and what kind of things are you doing at each level?
Okay, so at the entry level, you're really getting your feet wet, getting used to the fast pace. Think of it like assisting with patient transport, making sure those stretchers and all the equipment are completely clean, and just being a general support to the nurses, doctors, everyone.
So you're like the reliable helping hand, making things run smoother behind the scenes. Then what? You move up to junior porter. What does that jump look like?
Yes, exactly. At the junior porter level, you're taking on more responsibility, especially with the patient transport side of things. You're coordinating directly with the nursing staff, making sure those transfers from, say, the ER to a room or to surgery happen on time, and you might even be assisting with, like, delivering equipment or supplies. Imagine you're the one making sure that important piece of equipment gets to the operating room right when it's needed.
Okay, now that's being in the thick of it. You're not just on the sidelines, you're part of making sure those crucial things happen for the patients.
You got it. And here's an interesting thing RoleCatcher points out. At this level, they emphasize how important really careful record keeping is. Think about it. You're dealing with patient info, logistics, everything's got to be accurate.
Right. One little error could snowball into something bigger.
Exactly. Those skills, that attention to detail, are huge if you want to move up. So after junior porter, if you're feeling like you're ready for a challenge, want to do some leading, you'd aim for senior porter.
Okay, tell me more about that. What's different at the senior level?
This is where it gets interesting. You might find yourself supervising a whole team of porters, maybe managing the equipment inventory, even working with other departments to streamline things, make the whole hospital run more efficiently.
Wow, so it's not just about doing the tasks anymore, it's about leading other people and having an impact on a bigger scale.
Exactly. And honestly, the skills you pick up at this level, they're super valuable, even outside of a hospital.
See, that's what I love about these deep dives. It's like these skills we're talking about, adaptability, problem solving, leadership, those are transferable to any job.
For real. RoleCatcher even uses the phrase, adapt to emergency care environment. And that really hit me. Because think about it, staying calm under pressure, making quick decisions when things are chaotic, those are superpowers no matter what you do.
100%. Whether you're in tech, education, even running your own business, those skills are gold. It really highlights how exploring these different career paths, even the ones we don't know much about, can teach us a lot. But okay, back to those stages we're climbing that ladder. What comes after senior porter?
All right, so you've been a leader, You've got experience in a bunch of different areas. Now you're at the lead porter level. Things are getting even more interesting.
Ooh, now we're talking. What does a typical day look like for someone who's a lead porter? What kind of stuff are they actually doing?
So a lead porter might be the one coming up with like brand new ways to make the whole department run better. They're thinking the big picture, how to really improve things for patients.
So they're not just managing the day-to-day anymore, they're shaping the whole system.
Exactly. Like they might create a new system for how patients get transported, something that cuts down on wait times, maybe improves communication between different departments. They're kind of like that link between the people doing the hands-on work and the higher-ups.
That's a lot of responsibility. They need to understand how everything fits together.
For sure. But it's not all about paperwork and meetings and stuff. They're still super in tune with her team. And of course, the patients are always top of mind.
I can see how that would be rewarding, knowing you're making a real difference. But okay, we got to talk about the top of the ladder. What's it take to become the manager of a whole department?
All right. So now you're the one running the whole show, overseeing everything. You're thinking about the daily operations, of course, but also things like the budget, making sure the department is following all the rules, the safety stuff. And you're also leading your team, mentoring them, helping everyone grow.
So from pushing stretchers to basically being a boss, that's wild.
Right. It's proof that you shouldn't underestimate those so-called entry-level jobs. You could build a really amazing, impactful career from something that might not seem like much at first glance. And what's even cooler is the why behind this work.
Why?
It's not just a paycheck. It's about truly making a difference.
Exactly. We've talked about the skills, the career path, all that. But what makes someone want to be a hospital porter? What's that deeper motivation?
RoleCatcher says it really well. They talk about being part of something bigger than yourself. Imagine you could be the reason someone gets to their life-saving surgery on time. Or maybe you're the one who gives a comforting smile to a family that's freaking out.
It's those little moments, the human connection, especially when things are intense, that can make all the difference.
100%. And they even have this quote, "Hospital porters are vital members of the healthcare team, responsible for the efficient and safe transportation of patients within a hospital setting." It really highlights how essential they are.
They're like the unsung heroes, right? The ones working quietly to make sure everything runs smoothly.
Totally. We often don't even see how much they do.
Yeah.
But it's important to remember that RoleCatcher, while it gives a good overview, every hospital is different. The guide also mentions that it can be physically tough, you need to be strong, and sometimes you're going to see some intense things. It's a hospital.
Yeah, it's not all sunshine and roses. There's going to be tough days.
Absolutely. It takes a certain kind of person, someone who's both physically and mentally resilient.
And compassionate, right? You're dealing with people at their most vulnerable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But despite all that, so many porters find this work incredibly rewarding. They know they're making a real, tangible difference for patients and families.
Like they're carrying a weight, but it's a good weight. It's about hope.
That's a beautiful way to put it. It reminds us that every single person in a hospital, even the ones we don't see, plays such a crucial role.
It's like this whole system working together, and we as patients, we only see the tip of the iceberg. It really makes you think about all those people working behind the scenes, right?
It does. And, this deep dive with RoleCatcher, it's a good starting point, but where do we go from here?
That's what I'm wondering. What would you say to someone listening who's like, okay, this hospital quarter thing, I'm intrigued. What now?
I always tell people the best way to learn is by doing.
Yeah.
If this job really speaks to you, reach out to someone who actually does it. Ask them about their experience, or even better, see if you can volunteer at a hospital.
Yeah, nothing beats real life experience, right?
Exactly. Reading is one thing, but actually being in that environment, seeing how it all works firsthand, that's where the real learning happens.
This has been so eye-opening, and I feel like we could keep talking about this forever, but we got to wrap up. Any last thoughts?
What really strikes me is how important perspective is.
Yeah.
We go about our days, and we don't always realize how much is happening behind the scenes, how complex it all is. So next time you're at a hospital, take a second to think about those hospital porters. Those folks making sure patients are taken care of, the equipment is in the right place, the whole system just works.
They really are the unsung heroes.
100%. They deserve a lot more credit than they get.
This deep dive has been a good reminder that every job, every career path has its own story. We got to look deeper, appreciate the skills and the impact that each person brings.
Absolutely. Keep asking those questions. Be open to different perspectives.
Yeah.
You never know what you'll discover.
Couldn't agree more. And on that note, this has been our deep dive into the world of hospital porters. We hope you've enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time for more behind the scenes adventures.